Hello there and welcome anybody to my channel. Today what I have is a Mul-T-Lock Interactive. This is the first Mul-T-Lock that I have ever had and first Mul-T-Lock that I've ever picked as well. Here's the key, and so as you can see, the interactive element is here on the second chamber, and it really wasn't until I had a Mul-T-Lock in my hands that I kind of understood what was going on there. But I've really enjoyed picking this, and it took me quite a while to get the hang of it. So we'll see how this goes, and at the end of it I will gut it open, and it will actually be the first time that I have ever gutted this lock as well, so that will be interesting for everybody. Hopefully I don't mess it up too much. And all I've eaten today, well, I should say all I've drank today, was coffee. So apologies if my hands are a little bit shaky. Okay, I'm gonna get started. So pin 1 here, got a tiny click, no real feel in the core, but it felt a little bit stiff, so I went with it. Pin 2 feels stiff, got a nice little rotation on the core. Pin 3, I can feel my pick doesn't even want to go under. So let's try to squeeze it under there. Nice click out of 3, that felt really good too. Pin 4, heard something drop. Now I'm gonna reset this, and I actually gained back a little bit of rotation on the core. It didn't fully reset. Pin 1 is still there. Pin 2, so it seems like pin 3 is what dropped, the outer, I should say. And I'm gonna skip by pin 4 right now and see if I can get back to pin 5. There we go. Pin 5 gave me really good rotation there. Coming back up, pin 4 now feels like it wants to be the binder. Ooh, that felt great. Okay, coming out again. Feels like we might be on the inner pins. There we go. That was pin 2. And it wasn't even allowing me to pull my pick out. And now pin 1 inner. That feels loose now. So let's go searching for something that's binding. Going back, pin 4 inner. Got a little click there. And pin 5 inner gave me a little click as well. And now what held me up on this lock previously was pin 3. And I'll explain that a little bit if we get this open. And feels like we're pretty close. Searching around. Pin 3 is stiff now. I think I might have it set. Let's let off a little bit on the tension, see if anything drops. I might have overset something. Pin 2, there we go. It was our interactive element, and we got that lock open. That's exciting. All right, that was probably the fastest I've ever picked this lock as well, which does not usually happen on video. So what I'm gonna do is close this lock up, and I have just realized that I do not have my followers with me. Let me check something. Wow, that is embarrassing. Oh, right. We are gonna do something that is a very bad idea, and I'm gonna gut this lock without a follower. So, wish me luck on that. All right, so now I'm gonna move my camera to a different location. Let's keep this in frame. I'm gonna set it down on the counter right here. Top-down view. I think that'll work out nicely. Let me move this here. get this all centered up for you. And I'm also going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. Wow, this is going to be messy. I can already tell. Let me take this back off. Set these aside. Pet my dog that's going crazy. All right. Get this key in here. Turn it to the side. And we are gonna just try to do this little by little. Now, please don't hate me for doing this, but we're gonna start sliding this core out. Let's see, how do I wanna go about this? Yeah, I'm gonna let him keep this upward. I'm gonna make sure that those pins are gonna come out the top here and keep my finger on them. Here's the pin in chamber 5. Let's actually get that in the 5th slot. And it's spring. Pull this out as well while I see it. There's the upper pin in chamber 4. A little bit of a mushroom. I just lost a ball bearing there. Figure out, it's probably in the side of this core. And I noticed that when I was picking. I think it's on chamber 3. These have some really thin little springs in them. All right. Let's grab number 3. There we go, dropped out. There's number 3. Same setup on all of these, it looks like. Grab the spring out of here. Keep it moving. Number 4 there. And, I said 4, I meant 2. Grab the spring. These springs don't want to be taken out. And lastly, pin stack 1. There we go, there's the last of it. Right there. So that Bible is now empty. I'm going to set it aside here. Last spring. Let's take a look at this core. I really love gutting locks for the first time. It's always interesting to see what's inside. And I've seen many, many videos now on Mul-T-Locks, but I have not worked on it myself. So this is really exciting for me. All right, let's drop these out of here. I'm gonna go 1 right there. That was just the inner. And I dropped another pin, another 2. Okay. So before I make a mess, this one here is from 2. Let's put that there. Let's put the outers on bottom and the inners right here. I'm actually going to move this as well further because I'm going to separate these top pin inner and outers too. This one here was in 5, so we're going to put it over here before I mess up further. All right, let's cover this a little bit better now. So this is 2. Got that out. 3 is still together. Let's get those in the right places. Okay. 4. All right, and last but not least, the outer for 5. There we go. We got this thing picked and opened and gutted, and I'm very excited. Doesn't look like there's any sort of threading or countermilling or any of the above in this core. I do see there at the bottom, you can see on that second one, use my Mao pick as a nice pointer here. You can see at the bottom that little dot in the center, and that's the interactive element. And it took me a long time to understand that that's on the bottom there, and it lifts up that interactive element in the key. And I think that's just a really interesting feature there to have. It's really cool, you know, something moving in the key. So let's take a look at the Bible. Nothing really too special. One of the other things that I noticed when I was picking is that as I had my pick in the side, these holes, my flag could sometimes end up in these holes, and I'd feel like I was maybe picking on something, but I was not. And so that's an interesting feature too. And obviously they're included on the side too. And the reason for those as well is that ball bearing that dropped out, I think. So I told you I was going to talk about how pin 3 was really messing me up. And the reason for that was more so than any of the other pins here. Pin 3 was a very low set for the outer, but then the inner was set higher. And so I ended up using this flag and modifying it so that it was a lot thinner from here to here. And the reason was so that I could get inside that outer pin and really lift the inner. And eventually, once I modified that, this lock finally gave up the ghost for me. All right, so the last thing is I'm gonna grab my phone here and give you a better view of the insides. And we are gonna separate these here too. Maybe not. Put this back up so that I have two hands. Shouldn't have gone in so far yet. All right. Let me get these separated. Mostly for myself at this point. Oh, interesting. So these are sprung. This is something new to me. And they don't actually come apart, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry this isn't as much of an informative pick as you might have expected when you came here. And I'm probably gonna ask some people about this fairly soon, now that I've seen what's inside of here. And that, I'm probably gonna wait until I have my followers to put this lock back together. Otherwise, it's gonna be really difficult for me, I have a feeling. Well, that is, all right. Anyway, this has been a Mul-T-Lock Interactive. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my gutting it on screen and my shaky hands weren't too much of a burden. Have a great day, and I look forward to making more videos in the future.